Hey folks, Mr. Global here. Welcome back to my channel. Misinformation. In my early days of social media, misinformation was the thing I talked about more than anything. And I get inundated with misinformation in my comment sections every day. So we're going to cover a little bit of that in this video. Before I get started, please like and subscribe. Thank you all to all of my new followers and subscribers. I really appreciate it. What nugget of misinformation was befelled on me today? Well, thousands of them, but I'm going to share this particular one with you because it's kind of a hot topic right now. So in a video that I had posted on another social media platform, I get this response. We're talking about Donald Trump saying we'll never build another wind turbine. This person says, how much does it cost to build a wind turbine versus the electricity it generates? I'll give you an example. They build a wind farm in North Carolina. It takes 100 years for them to break even. Bonus, the wind turbine life expectancy is 20 to 25 years. Now, what I find so interesting about this is that this person thinks there are so many people in the United States that are so bad at business that wind farms have been growing like crazy, and all of these people are going to lose their shirts, because surely they would know that wind turbines never break even or pay off. So let's take a look. This is a typical wind turbine, right? Initial cost, almost $3.5 million. Payback period, 6 years, 7 months. This is on average, right? So this isn't any particular, some do better in some places where the wind blows more, better terrain. Lifetime profit, $5.3 million. And you may be saying to yourself, this is profit, right? So this is after they get their return on investment. Now, some of you might be saying, 20 years is a long time to make $5.3 million off of that investment. But what this doesn't show you are the tax deductions and credits that they received on the investment. It also doesn't show you the production tax credit they received over that 25 years. And it also doesn't show you the tax breaks they get on this profit. So the profitability of a wind turbine is much more significant than what you see right here. And I'm not including that because it's different for everybody, right? I'm not including that because it's different for everybody. But of course it's still profitable. We wouldn't have over 70,000 wind turbines in this country if every single one of them lost money. Another common piece of misinformation we get with wind turbines is they never net zero on carbon emissions. Yeah, the claim is more carbon emissions are generated making a wind turbine than they save, and that is completely false. The payback bank for a wind turbine is actually less than a year now. So yeah, that's completely false as well. And I've covered a lot of misinformation over my years. I think one of the most common pieces of misinformation regarding oil and gas is that we can't refine our own oil. That is something that is commonly believed by people all over the United States who are completely unaware of the fact that we refine about a little over 9 million barrels a day of our own oil that we produce. That's how much of our oil we refine every single day in this country. And people believe that we are incapable of refining our own oil. People believe that we can't use our own oil for gasoline. They say, oh, it's not suitable for gasoline. You can make gasoline out of any kind of oil in the world. It's just a refining process. As a matter of fact, our light sweet crude oil is literally the best oil in the world to make gasoline because it's the easiest to refine. But if you wanted, you could make gasoline out of coal. Like you can make gasoline out of any hydrocarbon, You've seen the kid on the internet make gasoline out of plastic, Making gasoline is not that hard. And this idea that we can't even make gasoline with our own oil is just insanity. But where does all of this misinformation come from? And this is really, at its core, one of the main reasons I exist on social media. All the social media platforms I'm on, here on YouTube, misinformation is probably my foundational purpose for being here. People are so misinformed about energy in this country and how it works. And the reason they're misinformed is because everything they hear about it comes from politicians or the media. The two groups of people that know less about pretty much anything than everyone else. And then, of course, all the things they say, float down to all of the wandering ears that, the supporters of the politicians that have to immediately run out and spread their misinformation across the interwebs. So this country, especially with energy, but with a lot of things, is diluted, not diluted, polluted. We are polluted with an enormous amount of misinformation in this country. One of the biggest pieces of misinformation that was floating around during the Biden administration, it was pushed heavily by Republicans, is that the Keystone XL had something to do with gas prices. It just blows my mind that people would think that a single pipeline on this planet would impact oil prices so much. That little pipeline disrupted the entire global oil and gas logistics supply chain, apparently. But that is something that you will never find a single energy expert on this planet that would ever say anything with the Keystone XL had anything to do with gas prices. It was completely ridiculous, considering the fact that it was never even 10% complete and running to start with. I don't understand how its continued existence of not existing would somehow cause gas prices to go through the roof, right? Because it's not a thing. But understanding something, that misinformation is weaponized and is a weapon of the two main political parties in this country. It absolutely is. They both use it. Republicans use it. Democrats use it. They don't care. The reason they use it is because they know people will believe it. They know people are too lazy to check them. And they know that ultimately people don't even care if it's misinformation. As long as they're propping up their candidate or their elected official, they don't care if they're spreading misinformation, not one bit. You have to believe that. With some of the misinformation we've heard coming from the people in this country, they don't care. They have to know. You cannot be that dumb to think the words that are coming out of your mouth are true. But all of this conversation today, is, people are really confused because I'm an oil and gas expert, but I also support renewable energy. I support all kinds of energy. People don't understand why I have an issue with Donald Trump trying to destroy the wind industry. Well, it's because we need the energy. And we have people, that are celebrating the fact that we're going to export $750 billion worth of energy to the EU, and they don't even care that there's some 85-year-old widow in Pennsylvania trying to figure out how she's going to pay her $1,900 electric bill. And this is what really gets me going, is the fact that this America First policy is anything but. It is anything but. It's an energy company first policy. That's what it is. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. I really appreciate all my new followers and subscribers. I will see you guys soon. Thanks.